Hello and welcome to another episode of the Construction Corner podcast. I'm Dylan. I'm your host. Thank you guys for listening. I actually recorded this. This is going to be my second time through it. First and foremost, I want to thank you all so much for listening, for being with us, whether this is your first episode or your 260th. Thank you guys so much for listening, for following along, especially on my journey. Um, as we go through this life, and the things that Matt and I talk about, bringing you guys guests from all over the industry, trying not to just pigeonhole ourselves into one thing. We like to talk about, guys that are doing civil work, dirt work, doing their trade, specialty contractor, general contractor, engineering, architecture, marketing, sales, business development, insurance, bonding, like everything that this industry has to offer. I feel like it's important to really give a good breadth, width, and depth on everything that construction has to offer. And today's episode, um, really this stems from I made some quippy comments. I was trying to be brief and to the point, and it incited a lot of reactions on LinkedIn. And I find that everybody gets worked up about a ton of this stuff. And a couple things. One, I wrote an article about this as well, where the only reason that we get misunderstood is a few things. One, that we don't have the same experiences, lives. We don't see the same things as other people, because life would be boring if it was, if we saw everything the same as everybody else. Number two is that, like I have learned with this little interaction over the past couple days, is that being brief is not always the best. It's great if you want to incite and stir the pot. It's not my intention. It is what happened. So, with that, I am going to really try to articulate my points here. We're going to talk about the climate, power production in the US, and all that kind of fun stuff, the things that get everybody stirred up, right? The climate, power production, coal, natural gas, diesel fuel, all those good things. So, really interested to dive in here to put this video in a company article that I'll post. And so, yeah, I am recording this on video for all those of you listening to the podcast. So this will be up on YouTube as well. I'll accompany with an article and really the write-up that I'm doing here on LinkedIn, and post it, and we'll see where this goes. Yeah. So love to hear from you guys. It's created a kind of ton of content for me, and I've turned this little thing on the internet into some productive action. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of go through this, and yeah, that'll be it. So our nation and the world run on electricity. That electricity is supplied from several sources, the largest of which is natural gas and coal. This doesn't include the energy required for transportation, planes, trains, boats, and automobiles. So starting with the biggest energy or source is natural gas at 39.8%, coal at 19.5%, nuclear at 18.2%, renewables at 21.5%, of which consist wind at 10.2, hydro at 6.3, solar at 3.4, biomass at 1.3, geothermal at 0.4, and then petroleum is at 0.9. That is from the U.S. Energy Information Administration Electrical Power Monthly in February of 2023. This is the sources of U.S. electricity generation 2022, with a total of 4.24 trillion kilowatt hours. Part of being in the modern world, we rely on electricity and fossil fuels, as illustrated above, powering everything that we do. Transportation, computers, air conditioning, water treatment, everything in our modern life requires an energy source of some kind, including the podcast and video that I am doing right now. When we look at large consumers of power, And then what goes into that power generation, we must understand that we're using natural resources to generate that power. Some have fewer consequences than others, but we are still using natural resources in some way, shape, or form. Personally, I am all for using these sources. I believe that we should continue to utilize these sources to generate electricity. America is prevalent with natural gas and coal. Nuclear should also be relooked at because of how far technology has come in the last 50 years. I believe it was sometime in the 1960s that our last nuclear plant was built. I know they've been working on building one in Georgia for quite some time. I don't think it's come online yet as of this recording in October of 2023. I could be wrong. I know they've been building it. I just don't know if it's come online yet. So there is one in Georgia that should be coming online at some point, which is good. Big fan. Knowing that we must mine the earth for minerals, metals, and elements that we need to live in our modern lives. It is just part of what we have to do to have the things we have, right? Where like I have a real sticking point to all these things, and what really burns me and was really the start of this kind of whole thing is basically the environmental movement, right? ESG initiatives, especially, and those propagating them while flying private jets and having companies that are some of the largest power consumers on the planet is a definition of hypocrisy. Personally, I want a personal jet and would fly it all the time, but I wouldn't be spouting about the climate and reducing carbon emissions as I did so. I would enjoy the luxury and be proud of what I've earned. I also want a private yacht. Both would be incredible to have, and I would love every minute of it, but they are large consumers of fuel and energy. That's just a reality. What I hear with ESG is that we, the peasants, should reduce our consumption while they increase theirs. They being the meg wealthy and largest corporations on the planet pushing these initiatives. I, Dillon Mitchell, personally believe that we should be using all fuel sources available to us. I believe that we should let a true market win, one that isn't full of incentives, kickbacks, and other buy-offs to prop up one market segment over another. Now, I know it's idealist thinking. It's idealist to think that there aren't going to be deals made to prop up one industry over another. It's idealistic to think that everyone will play fair and that a true market exists. It's also idealistic to think that there are no consequences for any of these choices. Each method of power production has its flaws. Arguments can be made on both sides of any of these methods. Quick Google search can find this either way. See, I do use the services that they provide. Again, we all consume power. We all use the internet. That's how you found this, is the internet and technology and devices. So what I'm getting at is our largest companies consume the most power, and the majority comes from natural gas and coal here in the United States, according to the Energy Information Administration, which I would think that that data would be correct here in the United States, and yet say that these are bad, that businesses shouldn't run without these conventional sources. You know, their business can't run without any conventional sources of power. That is hypocrisy and doublespeak, and that's what irks me. And I apologize if my stance has not been clear, right? I apologize for my clarity, not what I've said, but that I was not clear, because I personally do not care where the power comes from. Let's burn coal. Let's burn natural gas. Let's burn trees. Let's use nuclear. Let's dam some more rivers. Let's put up wind farms. Let's build solar fields in the desert, all of which we do because we are consuming more and more power. We need to mine more minerals from the earth. We need to put in more mines here in America without the crazy permitting and regulations that are forced upon them. We need to push more oil and gas and become energy independent. Let it run. Let it create jobs and opportunities right here in the United States. What we don't need is these companies pushing down on us to reduce our consumption while all the largest corporations in the world touting ESG are the largest consumers of natural resources. This is what I'm trying to point out, the hypocrisy, right? You have, and again, I use the example in my post of Bill Gates touting climate change, yet his company that he founded, Microsoft, okay, he's not the largest shareholder. He is the second largest individual shareholder, not including BlackRock, State Street, all the others, right? Where they are all touting ESG, climate initiatives, environmental, social governance, and yet are the largest power producers or power consumers on the planet, right? Not producers, consumers. They are the largest consumers on the planet, and yet tout these things that actually consume more. And they continue to create data centers and other manufacturing facilities that consume more. I don't have a problem with them building them. I have a problem with them spouting on one side to reduce you, peasant, reduce your consumption while we, mega wealthy, big business, increase our consumption. That I have a problem with, not of the doing of it, but of the double speak about it. So let me continue. Am I saying that they should stop using natural resources? No. I am saying that they should stop spouting about the climate when their actions contradict these words, much like I just said. Because if you continue to build more, to consume more, this goes against the words of reducing emissions. Maybe the percentage of emissions is less, but the overall volume of emissions is higher. Again, when you consume more, even though a percent of output might be less, the total volume is higher. While the increase in computing and the continued creation and expansion of data centers, our power consumption for these will continue to increase. This is a consequence of the modern world. It is a reality. And this is neither for nor against the building of data centers, manufacturing plants, or other large power consumers. And in fact, this is really me saying that, again, I am for the building of it. So maybe I should rephrase this. This is for me building more data centers, more manufacturing plants, and more large power consumers here in the United States because it does increase to our economy's bottom line. I am not for one power source over the other. Again, build them all. We need them all. It is neither telling you how to live your life. In this country, we are free to choose. For me, it is a pointing out that our modern world relies on the mining of minerals from places in the world that don't follow the best practices. It's from using oil from countries that we personally might not agree with, their cultures and values, using that oil to literally move our society daily. It is extracting natural gas and coal from the earth to burn so that we can compute and compile data faster. It's so we can watch TV and stream movies of the highest quality while lying in bed. These are the modern conveniences that we have and often take for granted. Our modern world does not exist without logging, mining, oil and gas extraction, truck drivers, and every blue collar worker around the world to extract natural resources and move goods. My intention here is not to debate one fuel source over the other. It is to say that climate agendas go directly against the actions of these companies. Again, it's the hypocrisy of it. Because if climate change was the actual biggest enemy that we were all facing, there would be no building of large power consumption operations. There would be no increase in the consumption of natural resource. We would go back to riding horses and never moving more than 100 miles from where we were born. This is not our world today, and I'm not advocating for it. I am saying that ride horses if you want, drive a car if you want to drive a car, run if you want to want. Our world is an ever moving, ever connected world. And the world that we live in will continue to consume more. And we can live how we live, and we can't live how we live today without taking from the natural resources on this planet. My only point here is that we, as a human species, will continue to consume more. That is our nature. We will continue to take from the earth. This is the society that we live in. It is what it is.